Hello, friend. This is Ryan Hicks of TalkToProfit.com, and today I want to talk to you about how success is seen as a frightening threat to the mediocre. You see, sometimes in life you have people fighting you on the things you're trying to do. You're working too hard, they'll say, or it's not all about work, or you don't want to be a workaholic, or it's not all about money. They will come at you from whatever perspective. Well, you need to be going to church more. You need to read your Bible. They'll come up with anything. They'll try spiritual things. They'll try your family as an excuse. They'll try whatever you can think of. They'll come up with some idea to drag you down to their level, to drag you into the mire with them. They're not content just being there themselves, where they've put themselves by their actions, by their lack of actions, by their beliefs. No, they tend to drag others along with them. And so when you start rising up out of that and start becoming successful and doing the things that will lead to success, they want to pull you back down. Now, this is not always malicious, at least in the intent. And obviously the end result is, but their intent may be they legitimately believe the poverty-inducing things they're telling you, because they have a poverty mentality. They believe in scarcity. They believe in lack. They believe that work is somehow a bad thing and not an ennobling thing. And so they really believe this. So all this nonsense they're telling you, they'll tell you, oh, money's the root of all evil. And they'll tell you all this nonsense and drivel to drag you back down to their level. And this isn't just among poor people, what is called poor. The middle class does this all the time to each other, where they try to hold each other to a certain, don't go too far up. You don't want to get too far up there because you're going to work too hard. You're going to put in too much effort. Why are you working 8, 9, 10 hours a day? What about your family? What about and see that the family one is a big one. Oh, but you got to spend time with your family. You got to go. And they'll list all these things you need to do for your kids that your kids will not remember. They won't care about. They will remember daddy or mommy putting in long, hard, diligent hours to give them the best life possible. They're not going to remember when you sat in some stand somewhere and watched them play children's games and they saw you a couple times in the stands. But you were there. That somehow matters. And I'm not telling you to skip everything you should be doing with your kids. But the point is, people who are mediocre love mediocrity. They love it in themselves. They hate the results of it, but they love it in themselves, and they love encouraging it in other people. They love other people who are trying to get out of that mediocrity trap. They love dragging them back down. And like I said, this is not malicious. They're not planning this out. They're not thinking this through and realizing even what they're doing. It's one of the great blessings. Even though I came from a very poor family, I thought about that. I never had anyone discourage me. Even when I dropped out of high school, which of all things should have got some discouragement, I was never getting discouragement. I was always encouraged. Now, I got some punishment, of course, for things I did, but I never had anyone in my family try to drag me back down, keep me poor, keep me in mediocrity. Don't let Ryan get too high and mighty and become successful. No. Drag him down. I never had that. And I know some people don't have families that are encouraging. They don't have families that believe in them. Now, some of it, you got to be honest with yourself. If you've had a string of failures, disaster after disaster, and now you're starting a new business venture, don't be surprised if people aren't patting you on the back saying, oh, great, another chance for failure, because your track record has shown something not good. In that situation, you have to prove everyone wrong. Whatever you did in the past that caused you to fail, you have to prove them wrong. Now, it's not about proving them wrong, but the point is, you can't get yourself out of that discouragement trap that they're in, because they're coming from the perspective of they've seen you fail a million times. They don't want you to fail again. They'd rather discourage you and get you out of that potential failure before it even happens. But that's something you did to yourself. You caused that so other people would bring this to you. So you can't get mad at even them for that, because that's a situation that you have created yourself. Now, as I mentioned, the thing is that you move forward. You don't stop. You don't let up. You don't give in. And you can't be taking breaks. You can't be letting off the gas pedal, so to speak. You keep pressing forward, pressing ahead. You don't look back to the past. You may have had failures in the past. They're done. You forget them and you move on. You cast those things aside, forget about them. You take any lessons that could have been learned from them, you take those with you, but you're only going forward. You're not going back to the past, wallowing around the past. Oh, you know, this could have happened better, or I could have done this differently. Just move forward. The past is done and over with. But you have to understand that the position people are in, they legitimately see you moving forward and becoming successful as a threat. It's embarrassing to them because it shows them a mirror of what they could be doing, but they're not. So basically, it reflects back to them their own indolence, and they're mad about it. And they may feel uncomfortable around you, not even understand why, but it's because they see that they're not doing the things they should be doing. They're being the sluggard, and they're getting mad at the ants for being so industrious. And they're seeing you and they're getting mad at you for being so industrious. So you have to understand from that perspective and have compassion on them and understand where they're coming from. That doesn't mean they're right, but understand it. It's a legitimate feeling of threat to them. And also there's envy that comes in. They're jealous of your success. They're jealous of the fact that you're doing something they're not willing to do. They're not willing to put the effort forth. They're not willing to take the action on. You know, many people will talk all day long about this business they're going to do, that idea they have, this and that, but there's very few that actually get out there and do something about it. And because you are the one doing something about it, you find great success. But that will make some people feel threatened. And you need to be moved with compassion for them. But instead of getting mad at them for their sabotaging efforts, try to help them in their own endeavors. Help pull them up. See, many people just cut those people off. But if there's any kind of ears to hear, so to speak, why not help try to pull them up? Maybe they want to do better. Maybe they will listen to you. Maybe they will pay heed to the things you have to say. And it can make them have a better life. It can make them start to take the action they need to take. Have the willpower and muster up the effort to start achieving and rise out of mediocrity. My friend, there will be people who will be threatened by your success. They'll be threatened by you even attempting to get successful. But instead of getting mad at them, instead of being frustrated with them, instead of pushing them aside, if they're willing to hear, help pull them up. Help bring them to the next level. While they're trying to pull you down to mediocrity, how about you try to pull them up to success with you? My friend, I pray this is a blessing for you. May God bless you richly.